the quarterback depth chart, which Kevin Stefanski, no surprise, is not tipping the hand on what he's thinking or not thinking in regards to potentially giving Shedeur a shabump following what was a very good performance by him. I'm not going to say it was spectacular. I'm not going to say the earth moved under my feet watching him play football Friday night, but it was pretty good. It met my expectations, exceeded in some regards, made some great throws, and then had a few moments where I was like, oh my God, he is going to get killed if he pulls this in a regular season game. He's not there yet, and that's okay. But I know you have been just dying to just let it out. So here you go, Nick. Here's your opportunity. Your boy, he showed up and showed out.
Yeah, it was fun. And I knew it was going to be. That's the thing. That's why I'm like almost not over the moon today, because I knew he was going to go out there and play well. I knew what I had signed up for when the Browns drafted him in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft. I knew he was a guy that was capable of doing everything that he showed us during that preseason game on Friday. And I do think for Browns fans that want to have fun and that really did enjoy Friday, I saw some people like late Friday evening into early Saturday morning trying to just throw cold water all over that performance. And people were bringing up the Dorian Thompson-Robinson Hall of Fame game because that first, debut of DTR's career, he looked pretty good as well. The one thing that I'll give you, though, is this is just a completely different situation. Where Shedeur Sanders had actual NFL expectations, DTR did not. Some of those throws, also, you mentioned the first touchdown, which was a threaded needle into triple coverage where he had rolled out of the pocket to the left. Like that's a Sunday throw. The
one-handed grab by Floria on the near sideline there. I mean,
yeah, he was throwing guys open. Like he showed you some things that bear having the conversation that we're getting ready to have about, is it time to move Shedeur Sanders up that depth chart?
He's not starting against the Bengals week 1, though. So everybody can slow the roll. It's not happening. He will not start against the Cincinnati Bengals in week 1, barring the apocalypse hitting.
Which I feel
Which, by the way, these are the Browns. It's entirely possible that might happen.
And I feel like a week ago, we would have said that barring an apocalypse, he probably doesn't even start the preseason game Friday. And he did. So we are plenty accustomed to apocalypse. What's the plural of apocalypses? Apocalypse?
Yeah, I guess. I usually,
whatever it is, we're hip to it in Cleveland.
Usually you don't survive the first apocalypse to even get to the second one, so I didn't realize there needed to be a plural of apocalypse.
The Browns are just like that zombie that just
apocalypse.
They keep coming alive. that sounds like the name of a band or something.
That might be the new fan club for Shedeur, the Apocalypse. He was really, really good. I was impressed. But that's what I expected to see from him. That's why it's like, I'm not going to sit here and make it out to be more than it was, just because that's what I expected of him. Now, if Dylan Gabriel goes out and does that against the Philadelphia Eagles next Saturday afternoon, yeah, I might get a little hyped up because I've not seen that in practice from him at all. And by the way, I guess I'm catching strays from Bill Poley, and we're going to get into that at some point. Maybe not even strays. Like he fired some shots at me. I'll just say this. Hey, Bill, I've at least been to Browns camp this year, and I'm not relying on what people are telling me. So
I do have a thought, Daryl, by the way, about the people that on Friday night said that Shedeur Sanders should start week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
How to set a rookie 5th round pick quarterback up to fail 101?
216-474-0092. I'm not in a position to debate those people.
Why not?
I don't think they're all that wrong. Now, I can disagree with it. I disagree with it. I still think starting one of the veteran quarterbacks in Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett is the way to handle this thing. But if you call up the show today, if you hit us on Twitter at Right or Wrong Fan, at Nick Padone 12, at 92.3 The Fan, you're not going to get a counter argument from me because the rest of the QBs on this roster, one, I haven't seen any of in actual live game action, except the quarter plus.
Saw Joe Flacco last year. Saw Joe Flacco in 2023. Saw Joe Flacco for the previous 100 seasons he's been playing.
But here's my thing, right? Like when the other 5 quarterbacks on your roster have a combined 0% chance of becoming the franchise quarterback, I'm in no position to debate or argue people who want to see Shedeur Sanders start week 1 for a football team that in the pie in the sky scenario is going to win 6 games.
That's insanity to want him to start week 1. And also looking at you want him to play the Ravens in week 2,
but I'm not.
You want him to play the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings.
Don't.
Like you really want that for him right out of the gate. You want to absolutely just have this kid crushed right out of the gate.
No.
Then yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. No, there's plenty of argument against starting Shedeur Sanders week 1, regardless of how good I thought he was Friday night. He was good. I'm not hating on him, but he wasn't perfect. He has some things in his game that they need to get out, like, I don't know, turning your back to the line of scrimmage, which is usually the kiss of death in the National Football League for a quarterback. That is one no-no. The other is going across the field throwing against your body. Like, you don't do that either. Now, he did not try and do that, but, like, you never spin out of pressure and run backwards with your back to the line of scrimmage, away from the line of scrimmage. You just do not ever do that. Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I'm not going to be the guy that rains on the parade.
You want to see him week 1. No, just admit it.
I don't, because I agree with you. Against the Baltimore Ravens, you turn your back like you did in the Panthers game, you're going to get eaten alive. I do agree with that. But I have no counter argument to the people that want to see him play, because you have 2 first-round picks last year. And you can't deny Friday was the first bit of real fun that you've probably felt as a Browns fan since March 2022. And I know Joe Flacco sent you on a magic carpet ride in 2023, but you knew the boogeyman was standing right behind the corner, and you knew that enjoy that feeling because it wasn't going to be for very long. So the fact that Browns fans were able to have a little bit of fun on Friday and play perfect timing on their way home from work and put their wrist up when he got into the game and threw a couple touchdown passes, and you saw a dude that could potentially lead you to believe, hey, maybe this hell that we've created for ourselves here isn't that bad. Maybe this kid can pull us out of this. I'm not going to be the wet blanket. I'm not going to be the guy that tells Browns fans today that you can't have your fun and that you shouldn't want to see more of Shedeur Sanders. I want to see more of Shedeur Sanders too. I don't necessarily want to see him week 1. I don't really want to see him week 2. I don't really want to see him week 3. Let's get across the pond and back home, and then I'll see him. But for the people that want to have their fun and talk about seeing more from Shedeur Sanders because they believe he can be the franchise quarterback, you are going to hear no debate from me on this program. I just have nothing to counter those people.
Yeah, you do. You're looking out for Shedeur's best interest. That he's not, if you start him week 1, you are not putting him in his position to succeed.
Yeah, but the other quarterbacks on the roster are crap, and I'm sick of seeing crap. That's all I've seen. And I finally saw a kid on Friday that gave me a little bit of hope. Joe Flacco is going to be 41 years old.
And guess what? He gives you a better chance to win early in the season than Shedeur does. He gives you a tangible, better chance to win early in the season than Shedeur does.
I agree with you on that. But I'm saying,
well, that's your retort. That's your counter. I'm giving you the bullet points for your count. You can argue with people about starting this kid in week 1 and what a hazardous thought that would be. Is he a finished product? No. Is he ready to start week 1 against the Bengals? Absolutely not. But considering the limited opportunities he's got during training camp, I was pretty impressed with what I saw.
Another really good Shedeur moment was it was 3rd and long. He was backed up into his own end zone, and he dropped back and he found Gage in the middle of the field for a big gain that moved the sticks and also just kept the offensive drive moving. Like, that's why we're so excited about what we saw.
The end of the first half. You got the ball less than 3 minutes, went down, boom, scored a touchdown. That's how it's done. That's how it's supposed to be done. They were able to put Shedeur in a variety of situations He got the backed up inside, near his goal line, got 2 of those drives, acquitted himself well. We got to see him in red zone. We got to see him in a quasi 2-minute type of a situation.
Yep.
Like
and he passed the eye test. You mentioned seeing 100 dudes come through here. And some of those dudes didn't pass the eye test from the get-go. You knew that they weren't going to be it. So that's why we're excited about Shedeur. And we're not trying to say that he's a finished product. And we're not trying to say that he should be the week 1 starter. But we're excited because what we saw Friday confirmed what we knew, that the dude could play. And he passed the first eye test. And that's a massive win for the Browns, for Shedeur, and for Browns fans that want to see Shedeur succeed.
Well, Shedeur's not the only former mid to late round pick to pass the eye test in the preseason. So I don't know. Do we have to slow our roll a minute?
Friday was a movie for Shedeur Sanders fans because it couldn't have. Listen, I mean, it could have went better. I guess,
but here's the thing: James has tried to explain this to me 1,000 times, and your 1,001st explanation to me
isn't going to be the one.
It's not still not moving the needle. Still not moving the. I don't get it.
Like for Peterlin.
Is it slang? Is that
for Peterlin? Like Friday's Browns game was a movie.
Oh, for you and Peterlin, Friday was that was Christmas for you guys.
It really was. Dude, just because we were starved to have a little bit of fun.
All I know is that first touchdown pass where he's rolling left and he just fires it on the move in the perfect spot. Caden Davis runs to the spot in the end zone as he's rolling across the field.
Yep.
Perfect timing, right on the money. I was just like, that's an NFL throw right there.
And you mentioned before we went to break, we've seen other guys pass that eye test. DTR is the one that will continue to get thrown around throughout the entirety of this week.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. That's what I was going to bring up.
But Daryl, here's the difference.
Tell me what the difference is between watching DTR, who, by the way, in practice, unlike Dylan Gabriel, looked like an NFL quarterback, could sling it around the field, okay? Now, granted, on the field in actual game situations, it just, didn't work out. But so explain to me what Shedeur did. And I'm not, and I want to be clear, I'm not saying what Shedeur did is the equivalent of DTR. But from your perspective, explain to me why what Shedeur did Friday night does not compare equally to DTR in the preseason.
Because those were Sunday throws. The throw that you just named, I mean, he was rolling out of the pocket, and even times at Baker's height, and you guys know I'm a big Baker fan, when he would roll out of the pocket, you kind of knew sometimes there was no plan. It was just get out of the pocket and see what happens. Get out of the pocket and cross my fingers that Hollywood Higgins down there somewhere. Shedeur Sanders was rolling out of the pocket with an idea of what he was going to do with the football. That throw to Caden Davis, he knew, okay, there's 3 defenders, and I'm putting this football in the spot that Caden Davis needs to be. There's an art form to that. And good quarterbacks, similar to good point guards, will throw you open. And that's what he was doing to guys.
Caden to be there. That's the other thing. He trusted Caden to get where he wanted and needed him to be.
He did that to Floria, too. I know some people on social media were like, well, that was an overthrow. Floria shouldn't have had to catch it with one hand. No, he was throwing guys open. He's throwing guys in the spots that he wants.
Guys make plays for their quarterbacks. Guys made plays for Tom Brady all the time. Guys have made plays for...
That's the dude that would throw guys open, and that's Shedeur's mentor. I know much was made about that, and his statue was unveiled on
Joe
the same
Montana,
night.
Jeff Garcia, all those guys back in the day, they would make plays for their quarterbacks. And you need that to be a successful quarterback. Guys make plays for Patrick Mahomes all the time. Yes, Patrick Mahomes throws dimes, no question about it. But if there aren't guys catching those dimes, we're not sitting here talking about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and how many Super Bowls the guys won and all. You have to have playmakers. You have to have a supporting cast. So I'm not going to take away from Shedeur Sanders, who made a brilliant throw, because Floria made a brilliant play himself. Takes two to tango there.
I put out there on social media just the highlight of it, and I said, what a play by Julian Edelman. That's what it reminded me.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Brady to Edelman. Because Shedeur is not like, I mean, he showed you that he's got some wheels, but he's not exactly Kyler Murray out there.
I'm not going to lie. When he was showing off the wheels a couple of times, I got nervous. Now, the 3rd and 9 that he converted, got 10 yards. I think it was his first down that he picked up, right? That I guess we'd call it a scramble. Like that was really good. And then the next drive, he had one where he ran back what felt like 50 yards and then tried to wing the ball. He's actually lucky he did not get called for intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that ball got back to the line of scrimmage. I think it felt like a yard shy of the sticks, but the officials kind of gave that to him. There was another instance. He was frustrated after a 3rd down play, and he took his helmet off, and you could see Tommy Reese in the
saying,
shot.
Put the helmet back on.
Yeah, get your helmet back on. They missed that because he could have been flagged for that. And then as soon as he got to the sideline, Tommy's like, yeah, you can't do that. You have to leave your helmet on when you're on the field at all times. You can't take it off, even when you're coming to the sideline. But, those are things that show you he's not 100% ready, and that's okay. Like saying Shedeur is not ready, that's not bashing him. That's not being negative towards him. That's actually kind of, in my view, being fair to him, because if you put him out there week 1 against the Bengals and he's got to go out the next week against the Ravens, I just think you're setting that kid up to fail. And there is what we saw Friday night, Nick, and you've touched on this. We saw the raw talent. Okay. I don't want to mess with the raw talent. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that growth. Okay.
It's fair. Mary Kay put out and Joe Thomas highlighted the reason why Shedeur Sanders has not gotten any first team reps, because he's had to get up to speed in all aspects of the pre-snap process, including relaying the plays from the headset to the huddle, identifying defenses, sliding the protections, directing motion, making adjustments, some of the stuff that he didn't have to do at Colorado, from the snap to throw stuff, just all the stuff that makes being an NFL quarterback. But the reason that I'm not going to debate people is, didn't he kind of show you on Friday that he could do all that? He climbed the ladder several times. Well, a lot of those throws were several layer throws. It's not like they were one read throws. He did show you all of the things that they were looking for and all of the reasons that they're telling you why he's not getting first team reps. Well, he showed you in a live game setting that he could do all of that and a little bit more. So this week, it's got to be time to put rubber to the road and get this dude at least acting like a real quarterback at practice, and starting to and not give him a fair shot or start to look at him as a week 1 starter. Because I agree with you, developing him up in some of those, like taking the helmet off, turning his back to the defensive line, like some of those things that will get you killed in the regular season have to go away. But I mean, we can't sit here and just lie to ourselves, because he's doing everything that the Browns are saying that he needs to improve on. He checked all of those boxes and then some. So I'm not going to listen to the nonsense that he's not ready in some of the things that you need to be ready to be a franchise quarterback. I'm done listening to that.